Donald Trump now claims that he's not against wearing masks in public during the coronavirus pandemic. In fact, he now suddenly thinks that maybe wearing a mask will make him look real cool. Take a look.
Goldman Sachs put out a model yesterday saying that if there is universal masks, it would be a net positive for GDP. We know the IHME model says that if there were universal masks, that it would be beneficial, it would save lives. So if there is an economic benefit, sir, and there is a public health benefit, sir, why not go forward and say there should be mandatory masks all across this country?
Well, I don't know if you need mandatory because you have many places in the country where people stay very long distance. You talk about social distancing, but I'm all for masks. I think masks are good. I would wear, if I were in a group of people and I was close.
You would wear one?
Oh, I would. Oh, I have. I mean, people have seen me wearing one. If I'm in a group of people where we're not, 10 feet away, but usually I'm not in that position, and everyone's tested. Because I'm the president, they get tested before they see me. But if I were in a tight situation with people, I would absolutely.
You think the public will see that at some point?
I mean, I'd have no problem. Actually, I had a mask on. I sort of liked the way I looked. Okay, I thought it was okay. It was a dark black mask, and I thought it looked okay. It looked like the Lone Ranger. But no, I have no problem with that. I think, and if people feel good about it, they should do it.
I just want to remind everyone that Donald Trump claims that he doesn't drink or do drugs. And for someone who's allegedly sober, it's incredible how fried his brain is because the Lone Ranger didn't wear a mask over his mouth. He wore one over his eyes. That's a small point to this story. And there is literally nothing that could ever make Donald Trump look cool or strong or brave because there's just too much evidence of his ridiculous personality on Twitter. But anyway, let me move on to what he previously said and why he's all of a sudden changing his tone. So just to remind you all, during a White House press briefing on coronavirus, he said, I don't think I'm gonna be doing it. Wearing a mask as I greet presidents, prime ministers, dictators, kings, queens, I just don't see it. And of course, that was after he was seen touring a Ford manufacturing plant in Michigan without a mask, despite being told by the state's attorney general that he had a legal responsibility to wear one. The president told reporters that he wore one behind the scenes, but didn't want to give the press the pleasure of seeing it. Now, if he really thought wearing a mask made him look cool, I'm sure that he would wear one constantly and make sure that the media sees it. He also criticized earlier in May. He was also criticized earlier in May for failing to wear a mask while visiting a Honeywell plant in Arizona. The Associated Press reported that the president didn't want to wear one because he was afraid he'd look ridiculous and that it would harm his reelection chances. And then finally, my personal favorite example of him being against masks previously was a statement that he gave during a Wall Street Journal interview. He said that testing for COVID-19 was overrated and allowed for the possibility that some Americans wore facial coverings, not as a preventative measure, but as a way to signal disapproval of him. Cenk, and I think it was important for the Fox Business reporter to mention the Goldman Sachs analysis about how wearing masks can save our economy money, it can help save our GDP. Because I think that's really the number one influencing factor behind why Trump is now changing his tone. He wants the economy to do well, not only for his own political incentives, but also for his own financial incentives.
Okay, so first let's acknowledge that the Lone Ranger had the most ineffective mask in American history. Like if you see a shot of him, like straightforward, it's the most obvious thing in the world who he actually is. Get a real mask, okay? Gee, I wonder who that is. I can't quite tell. If I knew that guy in real life, I couldn't tell at all who he is. Okay, anyways, all right, back to Trump. I'm not having this conversation. In the Trump rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, his staffers, who by the way had coronavirus, ripped down the signs in the stadium encouraging people to wear masks. He's doing an event in South Dakota at Mount Rushmore this weekend where they're discouraging masks. We're not having a conversation about whether Donald Trump is pro-mask. He's been anti-mask the whole time, gratuitously so. And not even based on politics. I know how selfish he is. I know how he doesn't care about anybody else's life but his own. I know all that. But really, being against masks hurt him politically because it caused more cases, more deaths, and hurt the economy, which hurts his reelection. He did it purely for vanity. It's amazing. It's amazing. One of the theories that I love is that he doesn't want to wear a mask because once he takes it off, it's his makeup's gonna come off with it. So how do you like that? I don't want to wear a mask. I want to appear strong because my makeup might come off with the mask. Yeah, well, but that really makes you look super strong, dude. Okay, and then even in that interview, he's like, no, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think I look good. I think I look good. I look good in a mask. Who cares if you look good in a mask? Who cares? You're the president. You're not. And so here is the president of the United States with over 130,000 deaths now. How many 9/11s is that, right? We're leading the world by an order of magnitude in deaths. And he's like, well, I don't mind masks because of how I look in a mask. Oh, for Christ's sake. And Anna, of course, the most important part of this is, of course, you're right. That Goldman Sachs report changed everything. So first of all, Goldman Sachs is their boss. So their boss just told him, shut up and wear masks. So he's like, yes, sir, yes, sir. What did he put? 3 people from Goldman Sachs into his cabinet during the 2016 run. He's like, global elitist, go. And he had a bunch of Goldman Sachs pictures up, right? Then as soon as he wins, he's like, oh, Goldman Sachs, please run my company. I mean, my government. Please, Goldman Sachs, right? So now when Goldman Sachs says, hey, bitch, put on a mask. He's like, okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. I think I look good. I think I look good, right? So that's. But the second reason is because Goldman Sachs did a real analysis, to be fair to them. And yes, not wearing masks, let alone the tens of thousands of deaths that it causes, hurts the economy by 5%, which is very significant and makes it less likely that Donald Trump will get reelected. So now the moron realizes, oh, this is against my self-interest. Yeah. I meant mask. I meant mask. Loser.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.